This menacing silhouette is unmistakable. Not long after its debut in World War II, the KV-2 tank earned the dramatic nickname Russian Colossus. Its armor was impervious to the standard anti-tank guns of the Wehrmacht, while its own heavy-caliber weapon could destroy almost any opponent with ease. Even when disabled, KV-2 tanks remained a headache for German forces. Moving them often required explosives or special equipment. But let's start at the beginning. The KV-2's predecessor saw only brief combat action during the Soviet-Finnish War of 1939. The tank boasted impressive armor, but its 76mm gun was no match for the rugged fortifications of the Mannerheim Line. The Soviet military needed a new weapon to tackle that challenge, and so the next version was born. As early as 1939, the KV-2 was already being developed around the 152mm M10T howitzer. A gun of that caliber, capable of firing anti-concrete shells, was designed to neutralize Finnish bunkers once and for all. In the end, though, the tank never made it to that war. Fitting such a massive weapon, and placing its equally bulky ammunition, required a tremendous amount of space. This led to the creation of the monstrous 12-ton MT-1 turret. Engineers feared it might not handle the recoil, or worse, that the tank might flip after firing. But testing went well enough, and around 20 tanks were produced with this enormous turret. There was still room for improvement, though. By the next year, 1940, the KV-2 entered mass production with an updated turret, the MT-2. It was lighter and more compact, but carried over several critical flaws that would soon become apparent in real combat. Engineers also experimented with fitting the KV-2 with the ZIS-6 gun, a 107mm cannon with better handling characteristics. The massive turret was a perfect fit. In theory, the ZIS-6 could pierce armor as thick as the KVs from over a kilometer away, and testing confirmed it. But the war began before this version could enter production, and the project was shelved. The war marked the true combat debut of the production version of the KV-2. The German command had little intel on the size and makeup of Soviet armed forces and had made no serious preparations to counter heavy tanks. When Operation Barbarossa began, most German units were equipped with 37 and 50mm guns. Their largest tank cannons topped out at 75mm, barely enough to scratch a KV-2. German soldiers who fought in June 1941 later recalled that the KV-2 could shrug off multiple hits, even from 88mm shells. But there were very few guns capable of firing those at the front lines, and they were primarily used by anti-aircraft units. The KV-2's powerful armor, imposing size, and initial effectiveness left a lasting impression. But in practice, the sluggish Russian Colossus had a number of serious shortcomings that kept it from reaching its full potential. One major issue, already mentioned, was the turret. Its weight put enormous stress on the suspension and drivetrain, leading to frequent breakdowns. Rotating the turret a full 360 degrees took at least 30 seconds. Firing safely, without injuring the crew or damaging internal systems, required the tank to come to a complete stop, ideally on level ground. Under other conditions, the gun or turret could jam entirely. The engine was another notable weak spot. The 12-cylinder V2K had a very short service life and guzzled diesel at an unsustainable rate. Because of mechanical failures and fuel shortages, many of these colossi were simply abandoned on the battlefield, and the Germans took full advantage. Captured KV-2s were quickly integrated into Wehrmacht units, modified with commander's cupolas for better visibility, and redesignated as KW-2-75R. Still, these repurposed tanks were more useful as propaganda tools than actual battlefield assets. Nearly every KV-2 ever built was lost or destroyed in the first months of Germany's invasion. Even so, the heavy tank succeeded in slowing the Wehrmacht's advance and bought the Soviet Union precious time to regroup. Even immobilized, a lone KV-2 was a threat to be reckoned with. The slow turn of that infamous turret towards your position meant only one thing: take cover!